The dichotomy between collectivism and individualism is a false dichotomy. My freedom ends where yours begins. I mean, I can't say that I should have the individual freedom to go around raping women, killing people, polluting the environment, etc. Because my individual freedom to do that interferes with your individual freedom and many other people's individual freedoms. Therefore, the dichotomy between individualism and collectivism doesn't exist. Now, of course, there are some subtleties here. In a non-hierarchical environment, my freedom of speech does not interfere with yours. On the other hand, we live in a world of limited resources. So my freedom to own property may interfere with yours, because if I own property, it may mean that you will not own property. And if I become a capitalist, I may contribute to a world where your choices will be work for a boss or starve, which is a violation of your individual freedom. That's why left-wing anarchists like myself oppose the quote-unquote freedom of the state or of capitalists to own and control resources they don't personally use, but which they utilize to exploit others, deriving profit or power from non-labor, non-productive actions. That is, making money from simply from granting us permission to use the means of production, or from selling back to the working class products the working class itself made in the factories, factories which the working class itself built. We oppose the freedom to impose hierarchy and to indoctrinate us through the education, advertising, propaganda, etc., that legitimizes elite rule and hierarchy. Also, we don't think risks, efforts, social mobility, or improvements in standards of living justify a hierarchical system. For example, in colonial Brazil, slaves could buy their own freedom and become slave owners themselves. And according to the work of economists like Richard Steckel, the standard of living of African American slaves improved from 1750 to 1850, and slaves were materially better off than wage laborers. Slave owners often worked hard in their plantations and took risks, buying expensive slaves who could get sick and die, or took risks by using slaves to produce goods that maybe would not sell well in the market. Uh, we can clearly see that all the standard justifications for capitalism or government were used to defend slavery and hierarchy. The only system that I think reasonable people will advocate in the future is a system where the burden of proof is always on authority. That is, a system where power is not inherently legitimate, but where it has to prove itself legitimate. I personally think anarcho-syndicalism is that system we're looking for.